What's going on, guys? It's your boy ATT back out here with episode number 4 of the Buzzer Beater Basketball Podcast. As always, I'm joined by IPF.
Oh,
How are you doing?
I'm good. Just coming off like a really hectic week of just exams, one after the other. So, finally got some time. Gonna record this podcast now, I guess.
Alright, so let's get right into it. Do you want to talk about first things first. I want to talk about Steph Curry almost getting in a car accident. Like, it's not a big deal, but he got in a car accident.
I mean, it's pretty scary for the league because I don't know if you remember, but Drazen Petrovic also had died in a car accident, which is pretty unfortunate because he was pinned to be one of the best shooting guards the league has ever seen. So it's good that Steph's okay.
Yeah,
just quickly get that out the way.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as we may be fans of one team or the other, you don't want anything.
Yeah, of course. Like I hate the Warriors. I hate Curry, but you never want to see something like that actually happen to any player. Doesn't matter who it is. So it's good news that he's totally okay. He's still injured, but he's totally okay otherwise, which is, that's what's important.
All right. So, recapping this week, generally quite quiet again. Somewhat similar to last week, actually. I think the prevailing story is Markelle Fultz and his supposed trade request, which turned out to not be a trade request. But that didn't really stop anyone from, considering, what is it worth it? I think in Fultz's own words, he's like, I never formally requested for a trade, but I wouldn't mind a change in scenery. Is what I think he said.
Yeah, that's what I read too. So, I mean, I think we talked about it, or at least touched on it a little bit in the last episode. I think I brought it up.
But we were talking about how Fultz is just bad.
Yeah.
What happened last week was just the free throw, and whether the Sixers should give up on Fultz. But now that he's gone to see a doctor, I think is what happened.
I believe it was that his agent suggested that he. It's really weird. I don't know.
The official report said attorney. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay, I thought it said agent. Maybe it is the attorney. But basically, he was advised, and he's like, okay, he shouldn't play basketball until he gets cleared by a quote unquote shoulder expert or shoulder specialist. I don't even know what that means. But it was really weird. He's supposed to be.
I really didn't know a thing like shoulder expert existed.
That's what I'm saying. Honest. I don't know what that even means. But he was supposed to be out from basketball activities until he's cleared by quote unquote specialist. But the very next day he was seen at practice. So, I mean, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what this guy is doing. If I'm being honest, really... last year was generally just a big mess up, right? He didn't get anything going. The Sixers handled his supposed shoulder injury very badly, and then in the off season, he's working with a shooting coach. Everyone's like, Fultz might be good, and then next thing you know, he's fired his shooting coach, and he's not on speaking terms.
Yeah, they got into I'm assuming off the court they got into an actual argument or whatever, because not being on speaking terms with somebody is that means a lot in a league like this.
It is a big deal. So, I mean, not even in the league in general.
In general, right?
That just means you don't want that person in your life anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's like this guy doesn't want to get better, kind of. He doesn't want to fix his shot. He doesn't want to take the shoulder thing seriously. He doesn't look like he wants to be on the court most of the time.
It's so weird. Honestly, I can't imagine what the hell it feels like in that locker room, just around the players. You see everybody, and especially now that Jimmy Butler is there, you just see them, the rest of your teammates just working as hard as they can to get better, and then this guy is just I can't shoot. And I don't know, I think last episode or the week before that we talked about how it might be a mental thing with him, but now that this thing's come out and saying that he needs to see a specialist or whatever, maybe it is physical. I've heard but I've heard people talking about how there might be nerve damage in his shoulder. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out answer. If it's true, okay, I sympathize. But why have we never heard of that before? I know the 76ers medical staff.
Unless the Sixers team doctors are just incompetent.
Yeah,
then they should be able to recognize when there's legitimately a problem.
Yeah, and if it is a problem, then the Sixers need to do something about their medical staff like as soon as possible, because that's a huge red flag. And I don't think I've ever said this on the air, but I've always been like skeptical of the 76ers medical staff, because like year in and year out their number one overall picks or whatever high lottery picks keep getting injured. I don't First
See,
they're
the
like,
thing
oh,
is,
it's a
I
curse,
don't know.
okay, but
But Fultz, I can understand like saying, okay, maybe they didn't handle Fultz correctly. But Embiid broke his leg. You can't really do much about that. And then he like messed it up the year after that as well. He missed his first 2 years.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
okay, a broken
But
leg.
like these are things that like your staff can't control that.
I feel
But,
like I don't know.
I
I
think what
feel
you should be looking at is the rehab process. And Embiid has come back like strong. You know, like he doesn't look like a guy who missed his first 2 years in the league.
You're
just
right
with
about
major
that, but
injuries.
at the same time, you look at Ben Simmons. His bone injury, like his foot injury, was supposed to be. I think it occurred. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty
It's
sure it
summer league.
occurred
It
in
was in summer league.
it was
But,
preseason or summer league, and he was supposed to be back by the Christmas of that calendar year, and he ended up missing the whole season. Like every 2 weeks, they'd be like, okay, maybe next week, okay, maybe next month, and then it turned out to be the whole season. Like,
yeah, that's definitely something that happened a lot. Yeah, that's definitely something. It's like you know, he'll be back like at X time,
yeah, but
and then
that
when next time comes, they're
never-
like, yeah, he'll be back. You know, 6 months later or something.
exactly.
So I don't know if they're doing a bad job with the medical aspect per se, or just being able to know when he's like legitimately going to be able to make a comeback to basketball.
yeah, maybe they just want to keep the fans encouraged or whatever, and they're just saying like, oh, he'll be back soon. But even if they know,
Yeah, that could be a press issue. Like
That could
it
be
could
that
be
issue.
like it could be like the staff telling the front office, yeah, you know, he's gonna be out for the season. But you know, the front office is like, because the front office, the Sixers front office has not been pretty. Like we can,
yeah,
I think
So-
pretty much everything apart from the basketball aspect of things for the Sixers. Has
the
been pretty
Sixers,
awful.
right? The Sixers as an organization are pretty bad. The only reason people don't talk about them in the same way they talk about like the Knicks or whatever is because
'Cause
they're
good. I
Good,
mean,
yeah. So I don't know. I think it's really
yeah,
know.
but, like it is a real like possibility that, because Brian Colangelo was still the GM at the time, right?
I believe so.
It is a possibility that the staff went to him and was like, you know, Fultz is gonna be out for the year. And then he's just like, you know what, we need to get ticket sales. We want the fans to be hyped. So we're like, you know what, he's coming back in like 3 months or 4 months. Same thing goes for Simmons. Embiid, he was out for the entire season. The Simmons and Fultz, they had the same problem.
Yeah, and then now, what's his name? Zaire Smith. That's a whole other thing. Like, I totally forgot that the Sixers had another like top draft pick this year, because there's been no mention of him because he's just out with another injury. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a series of
Bad
unfortunate
luck. It could be
events.
just-
yeah,
yeah.
but maybe
But,
not. It might,
I
it might be
think,
something more.
Yeah, I think the main thing coming out of this Fultz thing is like, what team would want Fultz?
I think any team. I think the Nets might. Basically a team that they don't really have that bright of a future at this point. They're just looking for some young talent.
Okay, but then the counterpoint to that is, what would you be willing to give up for Fultz?
That's also true. So I don't know.
Because like in terms of assets, what do the Nets have that like they wouldn't want to give up? What's like a tradable asset? Do you think?
I think anybody on their roster is tradable, maybe except for Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen.
I think
that's it.
Dinwiddie, Allen. I think Rondae Hollis Jefferson is pretty good for them.
I guess. I don't know how his contract. I don't know what his contract situation is, but depending on that, he may or may not be movable.
And I like Joe Harris as well for them, and obviously Karis LeVert, who's injured right now.
Oh yeah,
But I think
Karis
that's their like core going forward. I think like even though that's not like a standout core, I feel like
they're solid. They need a
guys
star.
could be, these are all guys who could be like second or third options.
And so that's the
Unless,
thing
of
with
course, Karis LeVert turns into like an all-star caliber player.
he could.
You know,
He's on that trajectory. It looks like so far, but
He's doing really well this year until the dislocated foot. So
yeah. So like based on what they have, what they need is a star, and like right now, sure, Fultz doesn't look like he's gonna be one, but that was the upside. Like he still has high potential in my mind. So, you know, maybe they can take a gamble on him, and if it works out, it'll be great for their future. Because I don't think they.
Or you talk.
I was just gonna say that I don't think, as well as Russell's kind of played for them, I don't think he's their future. So
Yeah, I was about to say, what would you think of like a Russell for Fultz, just straight swap?
I think that works for both teams. The Sixers, I don't know, their salary should be similar too, because I believe Russell's still on his rookie contract. So
Yeah, because he could want. I like knowing how D'Angelo Russell works. I think he's just gonna want a max deal.
that's true, and I don't think he deserves anywhere near that amount of money yet. I saw him on the Lakers. I haven't really followed him on the Nets, but I know what he can do, and I don't think he's worth max money. Like nowhere
He's
near
a
that.
liability on defense, and he gives you 17 points per game. So I don't know how like valuable you would consider this guy to be.
Yeah, I think if you can, what he gives the Sixers, in theory, it would be some spacing. Like at least he'll shoot the ball, which Fultz doesn't do. That's it. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like Russell's signed until next year, and then the year after he's a free agent, restricted.
Restricted. Okay. So yeah, that's. I would do that deal from both teams. I think.
I feel bad for the Nets because they traded Kuzma. Was Kuzma the 27th pick?
Kuzma was 27th. Yeah, I believe they traded the pick, and then the Lakers picked Kuzma. I don't think the Nets.
Yeah, they traded the pick.
Yeah, they traded the pick.
No, I feel bad because Kuzma. I mean, Kuzma panned out like solid, but I don't know how much what his ceiling can be.
His ceiling
as
is
one more guy who's like undersized for his position, good on offense but bad on defense.
He's terrible. He's so bad on defense. I was just thinking about this, and I was listening to. Obviously, I listen to. Well, I consume a lot of Lakers related media, right? And that's like kind of been the talk. He's been struggling this season, in the sense that his numbers are the same as last year. And you would think sophomore year either players take a big step forward or a small step back. Both of them are pretty common. But Kuzma just has leveled. It's like almost identical numbers, which is really weird to
similar
see.
To Donovan Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins, I think.
Yeah, and well, we don't know enough
scorers who can't really pick it up for the next year.
Exactly. So the thing with Kuzma is if he's not scoring for you, what is he doing? Really, like he has no other value on the court unless he's hitting a shot. So, that's just kind of what Kuzma is at right now.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think Fultz would do I think Fultz would have a chance in Brooklyn because they're known for like developing their point guard really well, Kenny Atkinson.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is the guy who made Linsanity a thing. He's like Dinwiddie. He's known for like helping. Like having a system where point guards thrive.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say. And they don't even have to be good shooters. I mean.
I think another place, Markelle. I don't know if this works in actual as a trade desk or in an actual trade scenario, but I think somewhere Markelle could do well is in San Antonio with the Spurs.
I don't know how well that will work though, because from what we've seen, he has like zero motivation. And I don't know if Pop would work with that. I think Pop would actually just get kicked out of the league if that doesn't work out.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I feel like that is a kind of a gamble on himself. Like either he expects he goes to San Antonio and Pop will kind of light a fire under his ass, which I think is also possible. Or what you're saying can also happen and Pop just gives up. And if Pop gives up on someone, that's kind of the end of their career. So
yeah.
Could go both ways, but
he needs to change attitude. He just needs to change his mindset in general. Because though there may be a real physical issue, there's some truth to him not being into it.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to work out with Kobe. Okay, that will fix this.
I don't know how well because Jason Tatum's just been pulling up mid ranges all year, and that's not been good for the Celtics. So speaking of the Celtics,
you want to get into Celtics? Okay, let's get right into the Celtics.
Okay. Celtics, I think they've been bad. They just haven't been. Well, okay, how would you say it?
They haven't they haven't lived up to how good they are. They're too talented to be this bad.
The Celtics that we expected.
Yeah, I think didn't we predict them to go have at least 60 wins this season? That doesn't look like.
Yeah, easily. I mean, that's what I think most people expected. Most people expected number 1 seed, probable finals appearance. But what's happened is that they're losing a lot of close games.
Mm-hmm.
What I've been observing, they haven't been able to pull it out in clutch time, which is I think largely responsible for a lot of frustration within the camp because if they're getting blown out, it's just like they're sad. Not sad. They're just like very.
At least if they're getting blown out, like okay, they were just better than us.
There's like
tonight.
a major issue, but if they're losing like pretty much every close game, then it's just frustration with themselves not being able to pull it out because they know like, damn, I'm right there. We're right there as a team. We can beat any team pretty much on our night, but then we're not able to. So I think a lot of frustration comes back to that, just not being able to win close games.
Yeah.
It's odd because they have best defense in the league.
They have like by far the best.
One of the
defense.
worst offenses. Pretty much the only enjoyable player to watch on offense on the team is Kyrie, and even he's struggling a bit this year.
He's struggling, yeah. Honestly, you were saying like Jason Tatum, but he still has. I'll check this in a second, but he has a 104 offensive rating. Like he's doing well. It's actually down from last season now that I look at it, but that's not bad.
I think that's the problem. I mean, okay, like it's just the problem is you work out with Kobe. He's like, shoot that ball, get the ball, shoot it, take that mid range. But mid range is considered the worst shot in basketball now.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I think I mean, what can you really change? Because defensively is you can't blame it on the coach because if it was the coach's problem, then both defense and offense would be awful. And if you have the league's best defense with no quote unquote like just defensive only kind of guys, like everyone on their team is like either two-way or they have like some sort of role on offense as well. There's no like I only play defense kind of players.
Yeah. There's no
yeah. There's no like defensive specialist. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So with a team like that, you can say that Brad Stevens is coaching them well. They have the best defense, obviously, but on offense, I mean, what can you really do if your players can't make shots?
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's kind of anomalous. Like, I still have faith that with the talent that's on that roster, they'll be able to figure it out. Gordon Hayward's still getting his feet like back under him. I think if by like All-Star break they're still struggling like this, they're still like right now they're at 500, I believe, unless they had a game today that I didn't notice.
Yeah, they won today, so they're 10-9.
So they're 10-9 now. Okay, that's still like not good at all. If they're still in that area, that close to 500 area by All-Star break or going into the new year,
they're playing like the Raptors, which is 13-4. I think is their record right now.
Yeah,
that's what they're expected to do.
That's what their ceiling is, or I think their ceiling is higher than the Raptors, to be honest.
I mean, it depends. The Raptors do look really good, but they both have like a pretty equal amount of talent, like up another roster.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, but like, so I don't know. I think if they're still struggling by then maybe they'll look to make a move, but or like by trade deadline.
Because looking at their roster, I guess Terry Rozier is your major trade asset.
Yeah, he's on the. I think him and both, like, you could trade either Tatum or Brown. I don't think they'd ever trade Tatum, but I think Jaylen Brown might be somebody they could trade.
I don't see them giving up on one of those like so quickly though. I feel like they could, because it's not like they can't coexist with each other. Obviously, we saw them play together last year.
The thing with them is
playoffs.
I don't think, and actually, I know Brad Stevens is a great coach, but I don't think he's been able to manage the minutes of Hayward, Tatum, and Brown together because they all play the same position. They all do really similar things.
Yeah, it's very awkward. It is very awkward.
It's just a bad fit, and I don't know if that's
I think a lot of that comes down to Hayward just not playing well.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know where the minutes should be allocated because the way Hayward's been playing, I mean, I've been watching some highlights and it just looks like he doesn't want to have the ball in his hands a lot of the time.
Yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable out there yet, which is that's not a good thing.
Yeah. He's not playing at a caliber where he should be getting 25 to 30 minutes per game. He's playing like a rotation, end of the rotation kind of player who's supposed to get like 10 minutes or like 5 to 10 minutes a game, which causes problems when Brad Stevens wants to play people like Tatum and Brown. Because you can stagger to an extent, you stagger your minutes, but then
but there's only so much you can do, and so I don't know. I'm one of those three.
Like any team any team in the league would take a package containing Terry Rozier and like Jaylen Brown.
Oh
Jason
yeah,
Tatum.
they can for sure. They can throw that, and they throw that at like the Pelicans. That's what people have been saying. Like, just throw that at the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, and
Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work.
it's
for
over.
Sure, but
it's not gonna work salary.
I
Right? Like
don't-
you have to match money and all that stuff.
I don't
But,
think the Pelicans would ever trade Davis. But I
well,
think if Davis ever leaves New Orleans, it'll be free agency. I don't think they trade him.
I don't think they trade him yet. I wouldn't, at least. But there's been rumors going on for like last 2 years,
The thing-
basically.
the thing is with that is that it's like superstar player, good team but not amazing
Yeah.
around him.
I mean, he's
So
carrying
obviously
that
everyone's like-
team though.
Yeah, but so everyone's like, he wants to change the scenery because they want to see him in like a different
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, but he hasn't said
But,
anything as far as I know.
Yeah, because he's been talking about DeMarcus coming back to the Pelicans
Yeah.
and having future plans with the Pelicans. So I don't think he's planning to leave anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think he leaves. The only thing is maybe the. I don't know. I don't think the Pelicans should trade him. I would not if I were the Pelicans.
I definitely wouldn't. He's your franchise player. I
Yeah, and
don't
you
think
just you do whatever you can to build around him because you just get him some better players. Like they're already doing really well with the players that they have, and it's not like they have a lot of talent around him. He's just
Yeah,
that
I mean,
good.
honestly, yeah, if you see like a Pelicans team similar to what we saw against the Blazers last year in the first round of the playoffs, where their backcourt gave up 0 points and their front court was amazing, then like that team is easily like a top 4 seed. But right now they're struggling. I think they're 9th in the West or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't have the standings in
So-
front of me.
Yeah. Wait, let me pull these up.
They're like. Let me see. ESPN.com.
The Pelicans are 10-9, same as the Celtics. Celtics are 6th in the East, but the Pelicans
They're
are 10th.
10th.
That's how.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
a difference.
East and West.
Although somehow the
Funny-
Clippers are first in the East, like in the
Clippers,
West. So
Thunder, and Grizzlies are tied for the 1 seed, so something's got.
yeah, this season has been really weird. It's still really weird for me to see the Lakers actually above the line for the playoffs. Like I don't, it's really weird to me. So the Pelicans, okay, so the Pelicans are 10th and they're 10-9, but they have a plus 2.1 differential.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
they're a good
that just
team.
means they're losing close games.
They're losing
pretty
close
much.
games, which is, I think that's something they can kind of fix soon.
Yeah. Okay, looking at the Western Conference, realistically, you expect the Kings to fall out pretty. I mean, that's a safe bet.
Yeah, the Kings will probably fall out, and I'm pretty sure.
I really don't think the Clippers are gonna keep up the way they've been playing.
Okay,
I'd
but
be really surprised if they're like. I still think they're a fringe playoff team, even though they're first in the West right now.
I do too. And the West is
I mean,
so close.
Realistically, they're 2.5 games out of falling out of the playoffs. So they lose 3 games in a row and boom, they're out.
Yeah, like
So-
right now, the Kings are 2 games back of the first seed. Like they like that's it. The West is ridiculously tight. The only difference is the only thing is the Suns suck. That's it. Everybody else
Yeah.
is in contention to make the playoffs. So like,
Up and down. Because right now, what you're looking at, the 9, 10, and 11 seeds, your Rockets, Pelicans, and Spurs are all teams you expect to make the playoffs.
right.
Spurs probably the least out of those 3. But, I mean, looking at your playoff picture, you think Kings are definitely going to fall.
I think the
And the
Clippers
other
are gonna
two-
fall. I think Grizzlies are probably gonna fall. Well, I
Yeah,
don't
those
know.
are
The
other
Grizzlies
two
are
teams who
surprising
you would
me.
expect would kind of slide out or
Mhm.
into the 7, 8 seed where they're in danger of losing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Um,
Right, that is. Yeah, I mean, talking the Kings are solid.
they're
There's no-
really weird and really surprising to me. Like I cannot for the life of me figure out what has changed so drastically between last season and this. Like
Do they have a new coach? They don't.
no, they don't. In fact, they're thinking about. I've heard there's
Firing
talk.
Mayer
Yeah,
because
because he's not playing the young players enough. I'm like, come on, what are you doing for the first time in over 10 years, almost 15 years that your franchise is relevant again?
2004 was the last time they made the playoffs with Chris Webber.
With Chris Webber, exactly. It's like if you make that move, Jesus Christ, I don't know. Just let them
Yeah.
win. They're not gonna sustain it anyways. Just let
because
them.
they're not gonna be tanking and going down into that bottom 3. I
Yeah,
don't
so just give them
I think
that.
they're on. them and like the Mavericks and the Timberwolves are on like a equal level is what I would say.
I would think so.
And that's
too,
like
yeah.
that's like not good for the Timberwolves in my opinion because
Oh
they
no,
have
for sure.
picks on their roster.
Yeah.
They should be in the playoffs, but obviously they aren't.
The Timberwolves are just Andrew Wiggins needs to be good. That's it. Like he needs to play basketball. Karl Anthony Towns is like he's picked it up a lot recently. Like he started off super slow, but he's been doing better now. But like it's on Wiggins to me. Like Wiggins needs to pull up and play.
The West is very odd. Well, okay, but like you still see the Jazz and the.
Oh, you cut out there. What did you say?
I mean, the rest is just too weird, man. Like the Jazz is still like in the 14th seed, which is not what.
Yeah, the Jazz are.
People are top 4 seed going into the season, and then they're 14th.
Yeah, they just lost to the Lakers today. I don't know if this. Yeah, this does have that updated, so they're 14th.
It is a bit wild. The West is going to be interesting come playoff time.
Yeah, for sure.
Last 2 weeks, if we have like 6 teams jockeying for that position there.
The last 2 spots, basically.
I think pretty much any spot other than the top 3 are up for grabs.
At this point, I think all 8 spots are up for grabs.
No, at this point, I mean, I'm thinking by the end of the season, I think Houston and Golden State will have the 2 seeds locked up.
Yeah, I think so too. They should figure it out. If the Warriors.
Yeah, and I think the Thunder should also be like in that 3 seed as well. Is what I think.
I'm still not too convinced that the Thunder are going to be that good. They'll make the playoffs for sure. I don't see any way that they fall out of contention, but I don't think that. I think, again, the 3 seed and beyond that, it really just depends. They're all going to be really close records. Like one game is going to swing it. So
3 through like 12 are going to be very close.
Yeah,
which is something that we've never seen before. So.
Yeah, so like at least in the West, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in general, actually. So
yeah, I mean that many teams like just who they lose a game and then boom, they're out of the.
They're out. Like it's gonna be really sad. Imagine the last night of the season, whatever team you're on. Let's say the Blazers are like 3rd, and then they lose that night. Everybody else wins.
You're thinking about your 3v6 matchup, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're not playing.
You're out. Like you're just out of the that would. I can see that happening though. Maybe not with the Blazers, but just in general.
Happen. It could very easily happen. Like the way tiebreakers and stuff work. It's a very real possibility.
It's gonna be fun to watch though. At the very least, no matter what, it's gonna be entertaining.
So, all right. Few more things, I guess. The Warriors struggling. I mean, they
won today, but
they blew out the Blazers like pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I think it was coming for them. Like after
you
so
don't
long,
expect them to lose like 5 games in a row.
They were on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah. If you predict the Warriors to lose 5 games in a row, there's something wrong.
Yeah, there really is.
Like you just don't know basketball.
You cannot rationally say, unless you're inside that locker room and you just see that these guys hate each other. If you're an outsider, there's no way that you can say that.
The Steph Curry argument only goes so far. You look up and down the roster, you still have so much talent there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, since they won today, there isn't much to talk about. Same issues as last week, but I think something's gonna get resolved pretty quick.
I think they'll figure it out one way or another. Like,
yeah. I guess one thing I wanted to ask is, do you think Draymond Green is worthy of a max deal?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think other teams would want to give him a max either.
Yeah, I don't think he's worth the max at this. Okay, well, when you say max, do you mean okay? When you say max, do you mean
I think the super max, dude? Like that's what he's eligible for.
He is eligible for it.
5 years, 225 or something.
Yeah, is that what you mean? Or when you mean max, do you mean max amount of money for the max amount of years, or do you just mean max amount of money for 1 year, or 2 years, like a shorter deal?
Max amount of years.
Yeah, okay, so max.
Draymond definitely wants that 5-year deal, dude.
I think he deserves it in terms of the impact he's had on the team, but I don't think he deserves it as a reflection of his skill on the court. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
The Warriors can't afford that.
Yeah, they'd have to drop.
So, yeah, they'd have to drop either KD's leaving or pay cuts and everything.
Yeah.
But I think the way the salary is working out, I don't think they can afford to re-sign Iguodala this year
Mm-hmm.
or Livingston, something like that.
The thing with
So,
both of
eventually-
those, both of those are both Iguodala and Livingston are players that would probably take a pay cut.
Yeah, but no, I think just the way the contracts are working out, unless they take like veterans minimum deals, I don't know if they would be able to re-sign them.
Okay, maybe I haven't looked into
I
the
can see,
numbers that deep, but
Iguodala taking a minimum.
I think he
like
deserves
35.
it, to be honest. Like he hasn't been himself recently, and it's the age. Like it's not, you can't really.
Yeah, he's
do anything
old,
else.
but
He's getting
I
up
think
there.
Livingston could probably get a solid 9-10 million contract from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think the way contracts are working out, either they let go of KD or they don't sign Draymond to the max deal. And I don't think other teams will want to sign Draymond to that max deal either, because they haven't seen him play in an environment outside of Golden State, right?
I really think he's
and
the system
like,
player.
yeah, and he was like a below average player until the Warriors blew up.
Yeah. All right. What do you think?
Where did
Okay.
it come
Let me ask you this: do you think Clay deserves a max deal anywhere outside of the Warriors?
See, like he's not what you would consider a traditional max player, is he?
I don't
But
think
I
so.
think max player, I think superstar, I think like LeBron, Harden, like the guy on the team,
Right.
Westbrook.
Otto Porter.
Okay, let's not. Okay, but he got a max deal. I'm talking like super max.
Yeah, and I'm talking about max for Clay. I'm not like he's. I think he's eligible for super max.
Deal.
But I mean a 4-year, whatever, 30 million.
I'd give Clay a 4-year deal for sure. But supermax is when you have to start thinking, because you're paying the guy upwards of 40 million towards the end of his contract.
Yeah, 47 million if your name is John Wall. Like,
Yeah,
boy,
money just keeps going up and up and up. Which 47 is like half your cap, right?
all close to half. I think it's like 45% of your cap. I'm pretty sure, because I think cap this year is close to like 111 or something like that.
Yeah, salary. I mean, contracts are where things start to get weird in the end, because right now you can see all the Rockets. They're having success. Blah blah blah. They're gonna be a good team. Chris Paul's 34, I think, this year, or 33.
I think he's older because LeBron is 34.
Yeah, then probably 35 or so.
Yeah, I think 35.
Actually, wait. One
Wait,
draft.
you just Google this. He was 2000.
I think Chris
Let's Google this.
Paul. How old is this boy? He is 33. He was drafted in 2005. He was drafted way after. 2 years after
2005.
LeBron.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, he's 33, and so right now they're good. The Rockets. They got the one of the best backcourts in the league, if not the best. So what you're looking at is good, but what you're looking at in the future is a 37-year-old dude going to be getting paid 40 million a year.
Yeah.
So yeah, contracts is just where things start to get iffy in the NBA.
That's true. Like, especially with this supermax thing, I feel like the supermax deal in theory is supposed to be incentive for players to stay with their team, but it's really had the opposite effect. It
kicks in so late. I don't like it, and
yeah.
it also leads to players requesting for trades because they're still eligible for the supermax.
Yeah. So like, it's not. It didn't work out the way that it was a cool idea, I guess, but it's not.
Yeah, the concept behind it is, stay with the team, get paid more. But if you're only eligible for after you've played 10 seasons for that team, so 10 seasons, let's say you get drafted when you're 19, I think is what the average would be, 19 or 20.
I don't think it's 10. I think it's a little. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not gonna.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's just go. Okay, I'm gonna go over 10 until we figure out what it is.
Okay, but it's late into your career, regardless of what it is. Like, it's not when you're a young star.
What you're looking at is okay, guy gets drafted, he's 19 years old, 19 or 20.
Yeah.
So by the time they're eligible for this deal, they're 29 or 30 years old.
Yeah, and it's a 5-6 year deal.
And you're paying. Obviously, you have their prime, right? You're paying them in their prime, which is fine.
Yeah.
What do you do about those last 2 or 3 years where they're no longer?
It's gonna be the worst. They're gonna be the worst contracts in NBA history. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
Can you imagine paying?
It's 8th or 9th season.
8th or 9th. Okay. Like,
so okay, so drafted when you're 20, 28, let's say.
Yeah.
You're eligible for your deal. You sign your extension, and by the time you're done with your deal, you're 33. So those last 2 years where you're kind of moving out of your prime,
you're getting over
you're
$40 million a year.
45 million a year. Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's really weird how somebody thought this was a panel of people thought this would be a good idea. Like, do they not
Yeah.
know how to extrapolate and be like, okay, if we sign now, this is what's gonna happen in the future? Like,
And I
imagine
mean, in the
paying
case of,
a
I
35-year-old
mean,
point guard $45 million a year.
not bad. Yeah, but like in the case of Chris Paul, it's like he's been playing for the Clippers or the Rockets for the last 8 years, right? So because of that, he's eligible for his super deal at the age of 33.
Yeah.
And because it's Chris Paul, he's like expected to get the money.
Yeah.
So
It's I don't know.
It's very confusing.
I would not. Okay, but if I was the Rockets, I would not have made that deal last season.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Like I saw that deal. Good for this year, but in the future, this will be like one of the worst contracts in the league.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
So yeah, I guess on the topic of the Rockets, we can go on how they're playing well. I think they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They did lose to the Pistons earlier today, but in a pretty close overtime loss. So I mean, this is just gonna be something quick because even last week I think I talked about them being pretty much back. They're playing well. I mean, there isn't too much to say, is there?
Not really. I haven't watched any of their games, so I'm gonna let you talk about the Rockets.
I mean, I don't have too much to say because I've been keeping up with their games. It looks like they've been pretty much just playing the same way that they have been the entire season, except they seem to be playing a bit quicker, a bit more, like just a hop in their step, I guess is what you would say. They seem to be enjoying basketball, and they're making shots, which is pretty important in the game of basketball. And I guess we can also talk about how Harden and Chris Paul both have 0.3 steals per game.
Yeah, that's actually amazing that Harden has some kind of impact on defense. Like,
Harden is a good post defender.
Remember all of the Harden memes, like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was really bad.
He was so bad.
He's still not like a good one-on-one defender.
At least he's a plus defender now, which is all that they needed from him.
He's good in the post, which is good because they can switch him onto power forward or something and kind of like at least force them to change their shot or take something a bit more difficult than what you would have with I guess like most of the shooting guards in the league, where you have your power forward posting them up and just getting an easy layup. So yeah, I guess apart from that, I think last thing we'll talk about is the Bucks.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I know we have LeBron doesn't know basketball written down. We can.
That was a joke. We're not really talking about LeBron knows basketball, but we're talking about the Bucks and how they're. I think according to on Bleacher Report, they're number 1 in the power rankings for this week, or at the end of this week.
I'll check the ESPN ones. I think they might be actually.
They should be, I think, or maybe second, maybe behind the Raptors. But regardless, they're playing out of their mind, and I think the biggest difference has been Coach Budenholzer and Brook Lopez. Those two changes to their roster, like the major changes from last season, have skyrocketed this team upwards. I swear to God, if Coach Bud does not win Coach of the Year, I'm quitting basketball. But
okay. Power ranking from 5 days ago, which means there'll be new one tomorrow or day after. Has Raptors at 1 and the Bucks at 2.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I can live with that too. I think they're also second in the East right now. The Raptors are first, but regardless, the Bucks, like what did they finish last year? Did they finish 6th?
Who did they play first round?
I don't.
They played the Raptors first round, didn't they? No, they played the Celtics, so they were the 8th seed.
8th then.
No, they were the 7th seed. Celtics finished second.
So they finished second. Yeah. Okay. So they finished 7th last year, and from 7th, and then they've had a good. It's not like one of the West things where somehow the Clippers became good. Like the Bucks are legitimately dominating, and the biggest thing to me is
their differential is insane. They have like a 21-point differential or something.
Something like that, dude. They're crazy. Wait, let me go. Unless you can pull up the stat while I talk about.
They have a 12-point differential. 12
point. Okay, that's still ridiculous. I'm pretty, and their net rating is also the highest in the league, overall net rating, and they're by a large margin. I'm pretty sure. Can you check that stat real quick?
Their net rating.
But right now they're taking the Bucks are taking 38 threes per 100 possessions, which is second in the league, and I'm pretty sure the Rockets are first. I haven't actually checked the stat, but I'm like 99% sure.
Okay, yeah, the Bucks are number 1 in net rating, and they lead by 3.2 points.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's like a big difference.
They have a pretty solid lead there, yeah.
And like like with Budenholzer coming in without really that much of a change in personnel, the biggest difference has been Brook Lopez, and he's been lights out for them. He's shooting 41% from 3 on 7 attempts per game.
Imagine telling like Bill Russell that like his 7-foot center is taking 7 threes per game and splashing them.
At 41%, he's shooting like 60% on like I forgot what exactly the stat was, but from some place, I think from like straight on, and after taking like one dribble, he's shooting like 60%. Like what the hell is that? But and the thing is, he's shooting on high volume. Like 7 attempts per game is almost twice, I think, of what he took.
Yeah, it's not like one of those cases where he's taking like 2 threes per game. So he makes 2 one game and he makes none the next game. He's still shooting 50%.
Yeah, it's not like
so
that.
He's shooting 7 a game, which is a solid amount.
It's a lot for a center, especially when he didn't start shooting threes until like 2 years ago. Before that, he was like a low post big dude. And now he has like no touches around the rim. And
I don't know who leads the league in like 3-point attempts per game. Is there a way to check this?
Probably. There's definitely a way on NBA stats. I know the Rockets as a team.
Yeah, they definitely lead in like.
Oh no, I know that they do. They take like 43s per game.
Yeah, they take a lot. It's kind of painful to watch it. I'll be really honest with that.
Yeah, it's amazing. But okay, but the biggest thing for me, and I think it's really weird, Giannis is just weird to me. Like he doesn't. Okay, first of all, all of this stuff talking about their threes and stuff is with Giannis shooting 12%. 12.
Yeah, he cannot
12%. Like he cannot make a 3 to save his life right now. Imagine if he kind of brings that back up to at least 20%. Like imagine what's going on with this team. I don't know.
I was always skeptical. Like, what kind of logic is this? Whenever people are like, he has to unlock Giannis and stuff like that.
No,
I was always like,
he doesn't need to.
Like, I was always like, if you have a great player, then see how much difference coaching can make.
Yeah.
But seeing the differences that Budenholzer made this year, as opposed to like where Jason Kidd, it's a very slow offense where someone brings it up, and then you have to make Giannis work in a half-court set, which is difficult because he needs
half of the court. Just to
he needs space
there.
to operate. Like he has to move.
Yeah.
He's trying to run through people, and if there's 15 bodies in the way, they're supposed to get to the rim.
Yeah, but this year is different. I like what he's doing. He's spaced out the floor so much for him.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of shooters around Giannis. It's similar to what the Cavs did with LeBron.
Yeah.
A few years ago, where you just have LeBron have the ball, surround him with shooters, so the paint is open, and obviously Giannis doesn't have that same playmaking ability, but I think he more than makes up for it with his ability to just go in the paint and get whatever he wants.
It's like watching a video game. I was watching like Bucks tape before this because I don't get to watch a lot of Bucks games based on where I live. Whatever, like they're not on national TV that often. They should be also for like NBA. I know you're not listening to this or watching this, but if hopefully somebody is, you should.
I think they decided the national TV games like the start of this.
They do, yeah. So I'm hoping next season Bucks get some more games because they're fun to watch. Like they've been pushing transition also. Like Giannis gets a lot of his buckets in transition, and they're all at the rim, and they're all like insane dunks or like the most acrobatic layups. Like it's impossible that this person is human.
It is a spectacle. It's like you're watching something special. Like when you're watching the Bucks is what most people feel like.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've always been high on Giannis. Like I remember when people like they first drafted him, like okay, this skinny kid, like maybe he'll have some upside. I don't know. I'm not too big on him, but I was always really high on him. That's something I'm gonna carry with me until the grave because I'm not gonna let people forget. I knew this guy is gonna be a star, and I'm really proud of that. But
I mean, yeah, it's wild because he was a fringe rotation. He was pretty much almost out of the league, and then I think third season he just picked it up. And
he hit the gym.
Who is this guy?
He hit the gym.
I think he grew he grew like 2 inches.
2 inches.
I think wingspan went crazy. And the entire league is like, who is this guy? 6'11", has like a 7-foot wingspan.
I think it's a little over 7 feet,
fast,
but yeah,
strong. Yeah, yeah, okay.
smart.
Definitely,
Like
it's just everyone's like, where did this guy come from?
he has everything you need, and he's one of those players. He he has like a 30-something% like usage rate. Like it's not low, but at the same time, when you're watching him, it doesn't feel like he's dominating the ball. It doesn't feel like he needs the ball in his hands. Like he gets so many points off of like putbacks or like second chance points, and just he sets decent screens. They're not the best screens, but they're good enough screens. And he just rolls hard to the rim and he gets the easiest lobs of his life. Like he doesn't even have to work for his points. Like okay, yeah, they'll post him up sometimes. They'll make him the pick and roll handler sometimes, but a lot of his points are just from him being there. And he's smart enough to know that this is where I should be at this point, and he'll get his. Like that's it. It's actually really fun to watch.
He is really good. I think he's probably front runner in the MVP race right now, in my opinion. I know people are saying LeBron, but the Lakers aren't great.
No, I don't think LeBron at all. And if anything, I don't think he should be anywhere near. And I'm telling you, as like a really biased Laker fan, LeBron has not been what I thought he would be coming into the season. But I don't think that Giannis should be first. I think he should be Anthony Davis. But
yeah, I think I would say Davis, but the Pelicans have been struggling.
Yeah, they have been struggling, but like we said,
unlike recent years where people suddenly think that wins don't matter in awards anymore, I am still the mentality that if your team is winning, only then are you really eligible for an award.
No, you're right. I agree with that too, and I had like the same thing going in general. But I just think the Pelicans not being record-wise not being the best is an anomaly kind of, because like I said, they do have a plus 2.1 differential, so like that's better. That's good. If you just look at the numbers, like if you just look at their differential, they would be the 7th seed right now, which is like fine. It's not the best, and this tight West, like I would take that. So I don't know. We still have a long season ahead, but
looking at it, okay. See, Kawhi Leonard's not going to be playing any back games this year.
Yeah,
and unless the Raptors win like 65 games or something, I don't see him being able to win the award missing every single back-to-back. That's a point that's going to go against him immediately if he's in the MVP conversation. It's he doesn't carry his team. Like he's not your traditional. He's not in the traditional sense your most valuable player if he's missing every other game in a back-to-back.
Do you think it boosts his? Are you one of those people that think that when he's
if they
out,
lose,
when he's out and they lose, does that work for him?
Thing is, the Raptors are 16-4, so where does that point go?
Well, how many back-to-backs have they played so far? If they just lose every back-to-back where he doesn't play,
no, but they haven't. They've been winning without.
Okay, but do you believe in general? Do you believe in that point?
I'm not the biggest fan.
You don't think so?
I don't like that argument. I think if the Warriors lose 4 games, it's more about them being on the. Is it because of the player that's missing, or because they have to change the system because that player is missing?
Okay.
That's what I think. Because if you're losing, if you're making that argument, then the player is usually a 25 per game scorer, someone who gets the entire team involved, and is able to carry his team if required, right?
Right.
But I think if you remove any player out of the system who has like some sort of value, then it's gonna change the way the team plays and then result in losses.
Well, yeah, but that is a direct impact of their value. Like what
I'm trying to say is that someone who probably isn't an MVP candidate could also have the same effect. Like if you're missing Draymond or something for the Warriors, then if they just lose 2 or 3 games, you're not gonna say it's because. I wouldn't say it's because Draymond's missing. I would say it's because they can't adjust to him being missing.
Okay, but look at the flip side. You're telling me I think that if KD misses a few games, the Warriors don't lose. So you think KD doesn't have any value, or he doesn't affect your system at all?
Okay, but I think one thing, Warriors, stupidly good team. So I don't know if they're the best team to be using as an example for this. But because I think missing one of their 4 core players, I think they could still win any game on any night.
I mean, except for the last 4, but yeah.
I mean, okay, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes.
There's a lot of stuff.
I think what I'm trying to get at is that it's less about the player that's missing and more about the adjustment they have to make because the player is missing.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I'm not I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate here. I don't know where exactly I fall. I think it's for me it's contextual. Like I think okay, in some context maybe that argument does hold true.
I'm just trying to make sure I get my point across because I know it can tell it's like a bit confusing.
Yeah.
But it's more about the adjustments the team has to make to a player being missing as opposed to, the player being missing is what makes them win games.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that. All right, so with that, I think we're done with what we had.
That should be everything.
That should be it for what we had noted down. Unless you want to talk about, do you want to go ahead and talk about the upcoming week like we did last time?
Oh right, that was something we did last time, wasn't it?
Here, let me send it
quick.
Let me send it to you. I have it open here. Let's look at. Let's see. I haven't looked at it yet, but okay. Let's see some good matchups. Do you think New Orleans Washington is a good matchup anymore?
Definitely not.
Okay, I think Nuggets
Spurs,
Thunder.
Bucks seems solid.
And
Nuggets
Bucks.
Thunder as well.
Yeah.
Those two look pretty good. That's
And then
okay, this is on my time, so I think you should be saying timing. Because unless our viewers want to know Indian time games.
Okay, so Thunder. Oh, this is actually tough. You can't even watch both games. Nuggets Thunder is 7 p.m. Saturday. And actually, by the time this goes up, that might be over. I don't know how long it'll take me to get this out there. And then the Spurs Bucks game is 7:30 on Saturday. So just try to catch those. If they're not, I don't know when I'm gonna release these. Release this. Then Sunday, we don't really have anything interesting. I guess Clippers Blazers is good, maybe.
I'm still not sold on the Clippers.
Yeah, me neither. And say Monday night, you have. Again, not a lot of interesting stuff here. I guess Pacers, Jazz, and Celtics, Pelicans, I guess, are a good game. They both are 7 p.m. Central. Oh, this is Central time, by the way. I'm in Central.
Yeah. Looking at the next game, I think Lakers Nuggets. There is some beef between the Lakers.
And the Lakers Nuggets. I'm telling you, Lakers are gonna eat the Nuggets ass right now. That is gonna happen. And they will kill them.
I think that should be a solid game. What else are we looking at for this week? Oh, there's Warriors Raptors.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah, I think that's the highlight game for the week.
I think that is the highlight game for the week. Oh, Lakers Pacers should also be a good game, I think.
Yeah, but I think actually there is one after the other. But game to watch is definitely Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors Warriors. Thursday night. I don't know if I'd be able to catch that. Actually, I probably will be able to catch that. I'll probably try to do a live reaction kind of thing to it. Obviously, without the game. Maybe try to catch me on Twitch. I don't know, but
Have you seen those match day things on YouTube where it's like they do it for football? I mean, what you would call soccer.
Okay.
Where
so a sport that I don't know anything about. Way to put me on the spot there.
What I mean is like they basically it's just they record your living room or something. Oh, okay, this sounds pretty stupid. They basically record like 5 people watching, but obviously they can't put the game in the video.
Right.
Because copyright.
Yeah.
So they just record their reactions to the game live.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of doing. I've seen people do that. Shout outs. There's this guy, Laker Film Room. Obviously, he only covers the Lakers. But if you care at all, you don't have to be a Lakers fan. But if you want to get like insight, I don't know why I'm shouting him out, but I really respect the work that he's doing. And like he's like one of my favorite people to watch. So Laker Film Room on Twitter and YouTube. What he does, he'll do like at Lakers away games, because if they're home games, he has the media credentials to actually be at the game. But at at away games, he'll do like a live play-by-play commentary kind of thing. Obviously without the game, it's just his voice over it, like audio only. I think that's something I'm thinking maybe I'll do with the Warriors Raptors game if I get the chance to. So maybe follow me on Twitch, come out to that. Okay. Anyway, plugs aside, I think that's it for this week's episode of the Buzzer Beater Basketball Podcast. Do you have any last words?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, well, I thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you all next week. Goodbye.